Welcome to the Newy Tech Jobs Update for June 2020. Right now, we're sort of coming out of the restrictions of COVID, but potentially looking at more restrictions again in the very near future. And it's a bit of a same story for June with May. So we had 86 jobs posted in the technology scene in Newcastle on Seek. That is 2 off the month before. So very similar numbers, down 2% month on month, but not a great deal of change there. So traditionally, we see June being a very strong month from a job posting perspective. There are companies trying to use excess budget that they've got from the financial year. So a lot of project work or contractors tend to uptick in June. We haven't seen that this year. We haven't really seen an uptick in the contractor space whatsoever. The most popular roles that were being advertised during June this year was really in the IT, help desk and support space. Once again, a bit of a continuation with more and more companies working remotely, having the internal capability to make sure that everyone is able to work remotely and people are being supported from a technology perspective. So we didn't see that same uptick as we would normally expect through June. So when you have a look at that year on year, we're down 26% based on June 2019. So really didn't see that uptick that you normally do see in June. Obviously, a lot of companies still got some hesitations around hiring with the COVID situation that's going on at the moment. As a continuation of that, 90% of other roles are being advertised are permanent. So once again, companies that are hiring are looking to those sort of long-term hires as opposed to those sort of shorter-term contracting or temporary gigs. So once again, for candidates out there, those long-term permanent opportunities are there. They're not there at the same rate that they were earlier this year or last year, but we're still seeing a reasonable amount of job postings going on in the technology scene. I think technology's been less affected than a lot of other industries, which is a good sign. But hopefully we see a bit of a growth in July. July, once again, new financial year, new budgets. It is a time for a lot of companies to start be hiring again and adding to their technology team. So hopefully we do see a bit of an uptick there. Once again, I think it'll be a little bit dependent on what does happen with restrictions, COVID-19, the continuation of that, and how businesses are being affected. So I mentioned help desk was the most popular roles being advertised. Outside of help desk, the other 2-3 most populars are in the dev space again. Once again, software developers always in demand in Newcastle. Then we're looking at a little bit in the architect and security space, which is nice for that sort of higher end of town. It's nice those a little bit more senior roles. It's nice to see some of them being advertised and companies investing from that perspective. So it's a nice little change there, which we haven't seen many architect roles being advertised in the prior couple of months. So really good change there and exciting to see that. Hopefully might be a sign of more project work to flow on after that. So when you have a look at actually who's advertising, it's predominantly private advertisers again. That's a bit of a trend we've seen over the last couple of months. So you're seeing companies advertising on Seek for themselves. 66% of all roles are being advertised by companies themselves. This time last year was actually about the 44% mark. So that's a pretty big change from 44 to 66. I guess it's a continuation of the COVID situation that's going on at the moment, companies trying to reduce costs. I think companies going to market themselves. There is still a fair chunk there of recruitment advertising. Hiring in the technology market in Newcastle is still difficult. We're still candidate short. Recruiters obviously going over and above just posting an ad on Seek to find those candidates for companies. So I think the recruitment market in general in technology is doing quite well. We're definitely having some success here at Newy Tech People. We brought Linda on over the past couple of weeks and she's having some early success with us as well. I think the technology scene in general is strong, has been more resilient than a lot of other industries, as I mentioned earlier. And I think we're going to see a bit of growth in that new financial year, July onwards. Hopefully a little bit more confidence from a business perspective, more companies investing in technology projects and people. So that's a wrap for June 2020. Pretty well a bit of a same story overall. Not overly positive, but not overly negative. I think there's a lot of people within that sort of steady state at the moment, trying to figure out what goes on with COVID and restrictions, how businesses are going to be long-term affected. So as a whole, though, I think technology in general, there's a lot of companies that have dealt with it really well. Working remotely has become the norm, and people and companies seem to be having some success with that. So hopefully we'll see some continuation of that, some more growth as we roll into the new financial year. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you are enjoying your working from home time if you are working remotely. And I'll be back this time next month with another update. Cheers.